here in Essex. I just wanted to dive in, say hello to everyone, and hopefully give you some help with some getting customer stuff. I can't see anyone's faces or any of the comments. I'm hoping the team are...
Just make sure it's not flipped. That's good.
Yeah, and also, can you just let me know if you can see this and it's not flipped wrong? We're just using you guys, if you could hit that in the comments before we go. Is it? So guys, the people in here, is there only 3 people in the meeting? Is that right? We're all good. Is there any other people watching? Is it? Are you pre?
I think it might be recorded.
Got it. Oh, look, here we go. Right. Yes, we've got it all going now. Hello, everyone. I'm James Sinclair from Marsh Farm and Rossi Ice Cream, as well as Partyman World and Lee Valley Animal Adventure Park. So we're what a big business in Essex around the family and leisure attraction market. COVID has been a real toughie for us. We've lost millions and millions of pounds worth of revenue, but we're still here to tell the story. And through the pandemic, we actually bought Rossi Ice Cream, which is a nearly a 100-year-old brand. Some dates go back to 1892. Other people say 1932. But in essence, it's a very old, established Essex business that also is well known in London, Hertfordshire and Kent as well. So I'm really happy to be with you today, and I'm going to be sharing some of the ideas from this book, Getting Customers, that I wrote a few years, and I'm going to tell you all about it right now. So we're going to go through some ideas. I'm going to take this off. It's getting a little bit hot in here. That's as far as it goes, ladies and gents, I'm afraid. But we're going to be discussing getting customers, and I've abbreviated it down here very simply: easier, faster, and for less money than you ever thought possible. Now, it strikes me that as entrepreneurs and business owners, the more time that we spend on understanding the marketing and getting of customers, the easier it is to build a commercially profitable business. And they're the things that I've really learned from really starting out as a kids entertainer at 14, 15 years old, and then built the business up from there. So I'm going to share some of those ideas with you, and hopefully you're going to enjoy it. If you've got anything that you want to say as we're trundling through this presentation, hit them in the comments below. And if you want to see more, then head on over to my YouTube channel, type in James Sinclair, and poof, I shall appear. We've made over 550 videos to help business owners grow their business, and that's what I'm really passionate about. Right, let's get into it. How do we get customers? How do we use this philosophy, actually, of buying customers? This is a great little philosophy that you could think about into your mind's eye. How can we buy customers for our business? Well, you need to understand these 3 fundamentals of business. Number 1, ACV. Number 2, ATV. And number 3, ALV. What does that mean? Well, most people are tracking their average customer value. How much does a customer spend with us? But also, let's understand how often does a customer transact with us? And then lastly, the average lifetime value. What's the lifetime value of that customer? Let's talk about supermarkets here to give us a working example. If we think about Sainsbury's, we're a Sainsbury's family. That's where we do most of our shopping. You know, my parents shopped at Sainsbury's. I've worked out that I'll probably in my lifetime spend £1 million roughly with Sainsbury's. You know, if you think if you're going to live to 90 years old, how much you spend every week, how much your parents have spent there, you're probably worth £1 million as a family to Sainsbury's if you take in inflation into account. How often do I transact with Sainsbury's? I would say on average twice a week. Really interesting, this. And then the average customer value, £100 per transaction. We've got a large family here. So here's the really interesting thing. Once you understand those 3 fundamentals, that the lifetime value of the customer is £1 million, they're transacting with us twice a week, and the average customer value is £100. How much can you afford to invest to buy another customer, knowing that eventually they're going to be worth £1 million? But this is just how my brain works. And it works really because I made some muck-ups in my early business career. I loved being a kids entertainer and magician. Average customer value, 250 quid. Transacting with you once at very best twice a year. Lifetime value, the children grow up, they don't want you when they're 20, 25 to do their kids' party. So the lifetime value is very similar to the one transactional value and the one average customer value. So you cannot invest any cash to actually go and buy customers in terms of marketing. Now, when I look at the Marsh Farm business model, average customer value, about £15 when everyone comes with us. They transact to us 1.5 times, and they probably come to us for 4 years before their kids grow up. So when I look at that, let's say that's worth £30, 30, 60, 90, £120 as a Marsh Farm customer to us. That limits you on how much you can buy customers for. So we've got to keep on getting new customers. And it's very stressful sometimes when you're a business owner, you start from zero each month. What I've worked out with our day nursery business, because we own a big chain of day nurseries, is people are transacting with us on average 3.5 times a week. The average customer value is £1,000. The lifetime value is 4 years. The customer is then worth £48,000 as a lifetime value. So then we can ascertain what we can do to get the customer. For example, we give a whole month's free childcare when someone joins us as a customer. So when they've got a selection of 4 or 5 nurseries to choose, that juicy offer means that they might be more likely to choose us. And that's really interesting that we worked out we can afford to do that because we understand these 3 fundamental levers of business. So ACV, ATV, ALV. Now, if you're like me and you're sitting there thinking, my God, my average customer value is low, my average customer value could be high, my transactional value is low, my lifetime value is once, what can you do to add on what I call multiple revenue streams that fold into your existing empire to really change the fundamentals of your business? So I owned a children's indoor play centre, Partyman World. These 3 things are all low. I added on a day nursery, and hey presto, we've built a much better profitable business model because we had to tweak the model. So when it comes to your marketing, understand how you can buy customers and understand if actually you have the right business model. It strikes me that only 5% of businesses are really going for it. 95% of businesses are either losing money or just surviving. It's the top 5% that have that right business model that allows them to effectively buy customers. Right, let's move on. Now we understand this, we can work out how we can go and get customers. Now, I wanted to do this before we go into our marketing. It's really important that you understand product first, then market. See, what a lot of charlatans do is they're really good at marketing and they have a shoddy product and have to work so hard at the marketing to keep getting new customers because their product isn't good enough. What I try and say to business owners and what we try and do in our organization at Rossi, Marsh Farm and Partyman is let's create a good product, and then all we have to do on our marketing is remind people to come and do business with us again. That's a much better, much more enjoyable way of being in business. Now, let's have a look at my biggest learns about business owners. Yeah, guys, I've made hundreds of podcasts and hundreds of videos, and I've wrote 3 books on business. I've spent a lot of time with business owners at seminars and events to really understand the fundamentals of business. And it really comes down to what makes a successful business is the leader, the owner of the business, and what they do. They work harder on themselves than they do on their business because the better you are, the better the business performs. And we come down to this classic 80-20 rule. I find that 80% of business owners operate their business and spend 20% of their time in growing their business and marketing their business. Now, all the successful ones that I've come across, I've interviewed them on my YouTube channel, they've been on my podcast. This is actually flipped the other way round. And this is what the successful ones do. They spend 80% of their time marketing and growing their business and 20% of their time operating their business. Once you can get that mindset into your business, you'll find that things really start cooking for you and you can start growing a business because you spend most of your time growing it rather than operating it. So you want to be this way round rather than the other way round where most people are. In effect, you want to be a marketeer of your business rather than an operator of your business. There we go. Okay, anyone on there got any questions? It just looks like it's just the two of us. Okay, so the ultimate formula for business success, gang, is this. Because how can you become a marketeer of your business? How can you spend most of your time growing your business? Well, it's this formula. It's E plus M equals S. So I want to spend most of my time being the entrepreneur, the leader, the grower of the business, is what the E stands for. You know, you're thinking about the future. You're thinking 3, 6, 9, 12-month chunks. You're thinking decade to decade. You're actually thinking about what does the business look like when you're finished. And then you've got this magic manager involved. And this manager's looking after the day-to-day and the operations so that you have the confidence to go and grow the business. And people that believe in E plus M equals S, that's entrepreneurship plus management equals success, also are not control freaks over their business. Don't get me wrong, I do dive into the management of our businesses. I do dive in and give my 2 pence worth and try and direct the ship sometimes when it goes off course. But it allows me, by using this formula, to spend most of my time being a leader. And businesses need both. They need leadership and management. And the best way to describe this is running a school. See, you've got a head teacher and teachers. You need that head teacher, that visionary-led leader that says, look, this is where we're going to take the school. That then attracts great students and great teachers that want to be part of that culture. See, the leader, the entrepreneur, should be working on just 3 things: innovation, marketing, and culture. If you work on those 3 things most of your time, having a great culture, bringing in customers, and innovating the company, then you're going to build a successful organization. The manager is looking after minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day stuff. They're looking at the very urgent, very important tasks. The entrepreneur is doing very important stuff, but it's not urgent, like acquiring a new business or getting a good joint venture deal over the line, or improving culture, or writing a business plan. All of those things, very important, but they're not urgent to the day-to-day of the business. The manager is making sure those staff appraisals are done. They're making sure that the business is compliant. They're making sure that the business is doing everything legally. It's making sure that all of the systems and processes are working or in place. If you try and take on both of these roles, which lots of business owners do, that will eventually lead to burnout, and it will stop you doing these 3 amazing tasks that I think really take a business into stratosphere. So the formula for success is E plus M equals S. Now, I wanted to just touch on this today about personal brand, the business brand. I think it's no secret, anyone that's followed lots of my videos and stuff, I spent a lot of time on building my personal brand. But I've done this when I was sort of 14, 15, building my children's entertainment brand. I built a brand called Jimbo the Partyman. And with that brand, I took it to build the Partyman World brand. So I used my personal brand to build a company brand. And I think it's really important that business owners do both. The huge advantage of building a great personal brand is people can deselect or select whether they want to work with you. They can find out if you're Google famous. When people go for a meeting to see me, they will type in James Sinclair and Google famous, I am. You're famous to a few, and that's really important. You've got to make sure that your personal brand is Google famous and famous to a few. Because as much as people are going to check out your company, they're going to check out your personal brand as well. This is easier to do than ever before. You've got to invest into YouTube, into LinkedIn, into Instagram, into James Sinclair, and make sure you're visible if that's something that you really want to do. Now, people ask me, oh, I don't want to make videos like you, James. I want to not do that. I want to just build my company brand. the thing is, humans buy more into humans than they do a company brand. Now, eventually a company brand will take over. For example, the Marsh Farm company brand is very well known in Essex. The Rossi Ice Cream brand is very well known in Essex. But you can use your personal brand to help your company brand build over time, like Richard Branson done for Virgin, like Walt Disney has done for Disney. Eventually, the company brand takes over. But like Marsh Farm and Rossi combined, there's 150 years of company value if you add those two companies together. This takes time to build. It takes decades to build. Very valuable, but takes time to build. This, you can really build something that's very powerful and start seeing the yields of results within a couple of years, 3 or 4 years. After that, if you do everything right, after 10 years, you can really start leveraging that to get customers far cheaper than doing Facebook ads or direct mail. All those things are good, but this presentation is how to get customers easier, faster, and for less money than you ever thought possible. I honestly think building a personal brand with videos, writing books is a great way of getting customers and building trust and authority. Okay, let's keep moving on. Now, when it comes to getting customers, we now know the 3 levers to a great business: average customer value, average transactional value, average lifetime value. But we also understand that we're a marketeer of our business rather than operator of our business. And we need to understand other business fundamentals, like having a good margin in your business means that you can drive an experience-led business like Apple, like Disney, where they've got so much margin in their business. They deliver consistently great customer service. And especially if you're an SME business, this is more important than ever now. I wrote a book on this called The Experience Business. It's my view that entrepreneurs that have SME businesses up to £50 million worth of revenue need to make sure they're experience-led. Now, to be experience-led and to be consistent with experience-led, you must make sure you have high gross profits or high margins for you to be able to consistently afford to deliver outstanding customer service. Okay, let's have a look at now ideal v most customers. This tree here represents, to me, the customer database that you have in your business. Now, you will have ideal customers and most customers. Now, in most cases, your most customers will be your biggest revenue. They will be the hardest to look after, but will yield the least profits. Your ideal customers will be smaller, but yield the most profits. It's my experience that most of your ideal customers used to be most customers. So let's have a look at the Disney model here. This tree represents all of Disney's customers that watch their films, that's got Disney Plus. And actually, most of Disney's customers probably don't pay them very much money at all. They don't pay them very much money at all. They consume their content. They consume their content that allows them to become fans of the business. And because of that, Disney can grow fruits on their tree. And the fruits represent the ideal customers. So the ideal customers for Disney would be people that go to their theme parks, or people that go on their cruise ships that spend £5,000 to £20,000 on a family holiday. How does Disney get that? They get that because they've got people that consume all their films and then buy their toys at much higher margins, because they've got their most customers that allows them to cherry pick their ideal customers. Google is another great example. Most of their customers use Google for free. They've given them the gift of search. This allows Google to sell to their ideal customers that are people that spend on pay-per-click. Now, what happens if Disney, for example, cut their tree down, because making the films and running the TV channels and making the music's really hard work? For a number of years, people will still go to their theme parks and buy their toys and go on their cruise lines. But slowly by slowly, they'll stop getting their most customers that will eventually turn into ideal customers. If I look at the Marsh Farm model, most people come to Marsh Farm, they're spending £15 to £20 with us, but then our ideal customers are people that come to our Christmas experience, that join up to our membership, or indeed join our day nursery. We do really well on those things because we invest in the tree. Basically, sometimes you have to feed the tree before you get the fruits, and exactly the same methodology in marketing. Now, the reason I'm bringing this all up is I've worked with loads of business owners that get fed up of looking after their tree, and they go, I'm just going to look after my ideal customers now. And that might work for a few years, but eventually you'll stop building your pool, you'll stop building your forest, if you like, to find those ideal customers. So don't forget to look after the tree, gang. Right. Let's get into some real marketing stuff now. Market message media, and it needs to be in this rule, in this order, should I say. Number one, we want to know who our market is. What's their pain points? What's our perfect, most and ideal avatar customer? That's why we do the tree analogy. Next, we're going to work on our message. What's our headline? What's going to solve people's pain? And then lastly, what's the media we're going to use? Now, the problem is media is free now or very cost effective. So most people think, right, we need to do an ad on Facebook. We need to be on Instagram. What's going to be our headline and who's our market? Now, if you could really go back to how marketeers would have thought years ago, they would have absolutely, before they spent any money on advertising, think, well, who is our market? We need to understand who our market is. What's their pain points? Is the market big enough? Is the market rich enough? Does the market have disposable income? Do they want to buy right now before we go and invest in a big TV advert? Then before we get there, what's the message going to be that pulls people in? So we need to understand what our headline is. You know, guys, if you look at my YouTube channel, the strength that we get to how many views we get and how people click is all on the words that we're putting around the advert. The open rates on emails is all on the strength of your headline. The conversion of your media that you produce, whether it's a leaflet, a newspaper ad, a radio ad, a TV ad, a Facebook ad, an Instagram ad, is all on the message and understand who your market is. So first we focus on the market, next we focus on the message, and lastly we focus on the media. Now, here's my little formula for bringing out a great advert, one that you can quickly think of. Number one, we know who our market is. Number two, what's our message? Number three, what's our media? When it comes to the message, the headline, the second law when it comes to building great marketing is how we're going to get attention. What is your attention-grabbing headline? Now, look, one of the things I tell business owners to do is just go and look at newspaper headlines, especially the Sun newspaper. I don't read the Sun, but you've got to really respect the Sun for coming up with great attention-grabbing headlines. You know, I think about my videos on YouTube, and when we come up with book titles or titles for events, we absolutely need to think about what that attention-grabbing headline is. Now, once you've got someone to open your email, read your article, or watch your video because you've come up with that attention-grabbing headline, you then got to work out how you're going to keep their interest. What's going to keep them watching? What's going to keep them reading? What's going to keep them engaged? So they've engaged in your email. You've got attention. Let's go down an email route here. You've got their attention with a great headline. You've then used great copy, the words that we use in the email to make it entertaining to read, to keep their interest. Next, you've got to get them to make a decision that they want to buy from you or interact or whatever that call to action is that you want them to do. You've made them make a decision that say, yes, this is for me. Lastly, how do you get them to action right now in your marketing? Now, I believe that if you use this formula, then you will get a much better return on investment on your marketing. How get their attention? How do you keep interest? How do you get your prospect to make a decision? And lastly, how do you get them to action right now? Think about this. A shop's closing down. We're seeing this with Debenhams right now. The attention is 300-year-old department store closing down, 70% off everything. My God, that's got my interest. My decision is, yes, I want to chip in on my bargain. The next thing is, why are you going to do it right now rather than waiting 6 months down the line? You're going to do it right now because you know Debenhams won't be there in 6 months down the line. You might not even be there in 7 weeks down the line, or 7 days or 72 hours, because there's limited supply, a limited offer, and they're closing down. So that's a brilliant example of AIDA working in action. Now, I do this all the time on my YouTube channel. So one of the recent ones we've done is we bought a zoo. my God, that's an attention-grabbing headline. Let's create this video that will keep them in interest and tell them why we're doing it. What's the decision that I want people to take when watching my videos? Well, the decision is I want them to subscribe to my YouTube channel or possibly join my Entrepreneurs University, which is my online training program to help business owners grow their business. What's the action that I want them to do? I want them to do it right now. I don't want them to subscribe to the YouTube channel in 10 videos time. How can I get them to take action right now? Well, I could say, look, if you subscribe to my YouTube channel right now and send me a screenshot of that subscribe button that you've pressed, and if you do it by midnight tonight, I'll send you all the copies of my books for free. That is AIDA working in action. How can you do that in your business? Now, I want to talk about now the lubricants to getting call to actions to happen, of getting people to decide whether they should choose your business via your competitors. So let's have a look at some of my favorite lubricants as a business owner. Free beats discount. Never, ever discount. But understand that human beings and business owners and prospects and consumers, they want a deal. They want something for them to make a decision to do business with you. And to me, free beats discount whenever you can do it. So I'm going to give you some live examples of this. Netflix 30-day free trial rather than 20% off for the rest of your life. This is a much better situation. And what most businesses do is they say, yeah, we'll give you a 20% discount, 25% discount, 15% discount. People then expect that discount forever. And when we understand that most businesses are making sub 5% net profit, if you're giving a discount, you might as well just be giving the product away anyway. And people don't expect free forever, but they do expect a discount forever. It's worth laboring the point. So let's just quickly get into this and give you some live examples in my business. Right. Rossi Ice Cream. I don't want to discount our product, but I understand some new customers really want some deals. So what we do is, we've just done this with a brand new customer who said, look, if you sign up with us, we'll give you a free pallet of ice cream, because we've worked out their lifetime value. We've worked out how often they're going to averagely transact with us. They're happy that they've got their deal over the line. We're much preferring to give free stock away than discounting forever. That's another live example of this working. You've got to work out a way of lubricating the deal. Think free beats discount. Okay, let's have a look at my other lubricants. Make sure you've got a really strong call to action. The closing down sales scenario that I've gave you earlier. Limited supplies, another great one. So, you know, like a pop concert, Beyonce sold out 100 times before within the first 5 minutes. People know that market that you've sold out before. That can often get people to make a decision. Understanding you need a sales funnel. Like a sales funnel is that free scenario that we spoke about. When you think about this, you think about how many people are in our funnel. The more that we get into free, where people can try before they buy. Google giving the gift of search before they sell you PPC. When people watch my videos for free or listen to my podcast before they buy a book from me, or indeed join my Entrepreneurs University or pay for me to go and speak at a conference. That funnel for me is people are watching my content, and that's a really smart thing to do. We're going to talk about the 4 companies before I go in a minute. And then a sales funnel, a great copy is another lubricant that I've really massively learned. The power of words, really, really important. And most people are just not very good at this. We've done a load of stuff on this on my YouTube channel, on my podcast. And we've, yeah, if you subscribe to my emails, you'll get really good copy-driven emails that are entertaining to read. So the power of the words that you use can really lubricate people to make a decision to buy from you. 4, but probably more. This is a little top tip. If you're doing emails, make sure you've got at least 4 links or calls to action within the emails that all go to the same place. So, for example, if sending out Marsh Farm email for our business, you know, come to our event, there'll be one link at the top to buy your tickets. Then there'll be another one, sort of the second paragraph down, then a big button, buy your tickets here, or click here for more information. There's 4 clicks, and that really does help get the click-through rates to people being able to buy. Don't rely on just one link in your emails. Go by the rule, at least 4, but probably more. Video, my God, I need to just give this some ticks here because so many businesses are still underutilizing video. We employ a full-time videographer to make video for us, for all of our businesses, and I'm actively looking to employ a second one now. You just cannot make enough video. You need to have really good videos that really drive sales to your business. Now, here's another thing. Yes, hello. Oh, yeah, this is the last point. And lastly, text message marketing, I think, is a, bloody hell, if I've been going on, sorry about that. Text message marketing is another thing that I think really, really works for you. You get 80% open rate on text messages, and they're really cheap to send. And people usually click through on text messages way more than they do on emails. Hope you've enjoyed this presentation today. I've been James Sinclair. Check out my YouTube channel, James Sinclair at YouTube, and you'll see a load of videos to help grow your business. See you all soon, gang. Bye-bye.